Hello everyone and welcome to week 5. Just changed that on the fly right there for you. Welcome to week 5 of our course together. This week we're going to sort of continue our adventure or journey into screencasting. We did some nice work with podcasting last week, making our auto recordings. Now we're going to jump into screencasting. So right now, again, I'm making a screencast, a wonderful tool to use with students to go over directions or to create content lectures, whatever you really want to do. So we're also going to focus on the flipped classroom this week. So I'm going to ask you to watch the videos in the folders found in the Module 3 folder. Okay, I'm podcasting, screencasting the flipped classroom. So let's actually go into the folder really quickly here. Now, I want to make sure we're not confused. This was the material from last week, right? There's action sheet for week 4, the discussion, all the various resources on podcasting and so forth, and using the voice recorders and how to do some screencasting, some basics of screencasting. And I encourage you to go back to this sheet this week as well for some of the basics of screencasting. These are videos that I made for both Canisius and for my Clarence students and for my Canisius grad students on how to make screencasts and a little bit about the flipped classroom. Okay, let this load up for a second here. A little slow today. Okay, so here is this document. Basically, I use this for a professional development for teachers in the district and also for my graduate students. So that's kind of what we're actually doing here. All right. So I'm going to go down a little bit. This one talks about screencasting basics, like what is a screencast, about microphones. Here's a great tool you can use on either Mac or PC. You can download for free called Screencast-O-Matic to make screencasts. I'll show you how to use that. I also talk about Screencastify. This is a really great, easy screencasting tool to use right within your Chrome browser. All right, so if you're using Chrome, either on a Mac or a PC, you'll have this extension appear right here. Here's what it looks like. You can create screencasts right from here. You just press the button, set it up, and boom, you got a screencast going. So very easy to use. Okay, and then I talk about the flipped classroom. This is some really things I would ask you to look at. I mean, this talks about how I use the flipped classroom with my students. This is a story project on storyboarding, video examples of the videos that my students made. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on when we get to digital storytelling. Okay, so that's just a example of how you can actually use some of this stuff. And there's some great resources here. Some of them I threw within the actual folder, others I did not. And I will probably add the John Berman and the Flip Learning Network to the folder because these are great resources. John Berman is a kind of like the guru of the flipped classroom. I've had a chance to work with John many times now. He travels around the world, so we've presented together about the flipped classroom. I've become John's go-to guy on flipping social studies, which is kind of a nice honor, I guess. And he's wonderful. So a lot of great resources there. And I'll add those to our folder, okay? And some other things here for a flipped classroom. Okay, so it's a lot of really good things there. All right. These are the ones that I made. My first screencasts are kind of basic, and this is the one that's a little more advanced. Okay. Now here's week 5 stuff. Okay, so there's the action sheet. I actually have it blurred out. I have it unpublished, so you don't see it in your folders yet until it's released. It's a nice feature of Schoology. If you want to plan ahead and have things available and not, you can kind of control that. But there's our drop for week 5 discussion. This is a great article from Edudemic on a great site that you should probably just bookmark on using technology in the classroom. What are flipped classrooms? It goes through all the ideas of what a flipped classroom is, has some great schematics of what flipped classrooms are. So I would disadvantages, advantages, I would go through that. That's a really great resource. In addition to that, I have this teacher guide to flipped classrooms, which is a really nice overview. Same site, wonderful resource. It talks about a lot of great ideas of the flipped classroom model, great schematics of how this all works, and percentages, and some tools you can use like Camtasia, which I absolutely love, but it's kind of expensive. I'm using Camtasia right now. And Modo, I use with my other students, but certainly Schoology would fit the bill here. Pull Everywhere, we're actually going to look at later together. So there's some good guides there. All right. Also in the folders is actually a chapter of a book that I wrote. Gives you my own experiences when I was first flipping my APUS courses a few years ago. This is a great article from Sams and Berman. John Bergman's the guy I talked about, which really gives you a great overview of the flipped classroom. Now, this is another Google Doc, and this is more of advanced screencasting techniques, okay? Looks similar to the other one I just shared with you. I use it also with my teachers at Clarence and also with my Canisius graduate students on how to implement these strategies in the classroom. Okay. All right, so here we go. Here it is. Okay, let's bring this down here a little bit. Still loading, sorry about that. Thought we had it. All right, so moving on down here, you can skip the orientation video, which is fine. Talks about Snagit and Camtasia. Those are both pieces of software that you have to download to your PC or Mac. They do give you 30-day trials. Snagit's actually pretty reasonable. It's around $30. Camtasia does get expensive. Sorry, I keep on pausing my recording because there's a large truck in the parking lot here, I guess. I'll talk about a little bit of mobile devices, screencasting, like how would you screencast with an iPad? I go over that. How would you screencast your Android device? There's a great app if you have an iPad called Explain Everything. They also have an Android app for this, which is really nice. I'm really excited because pretty soon you're going to be able to actually use Android on a Chromebook, which means that I can now use Explain Everything on a Chromebook with my students. So these are some really great options here. If you're a Microsoft person, there is Microsoft Mix, which is really kind of nice too. So there's some, then here's my examples of using digital storytelling. You could probably skip the Edpuzzle video. I'll go back to that. And that's about it. So there's some great things there as well for you. So a lot to look at, obviously. This is a video that I just made last week for both you guys and for my Acacia students. And I talk about something called Edpuzzle. I'll just pause. It's a YouTube video. And Edpuzzle is a great tool where I actually post my videos to. You can post any YouTube video and other sources video to Edpuzzle, and Edpuzzle gives you the option to actually clip the video, to add voice comments to a video, to add questions where, as you watch the video, questions pop up, they answer multiple choice, true, false, open-ended questions. But it also keeps track of when your students watch a video, how long they watched it for, when do they go back. So this is a great issue. I know a lot of you are going to bring up the idea of, well, how do you know students actually watch your videos? When I first started flipping my classroom, I would try to look at the YouTube hits, which was not obviously the best way to do this, right? But there was nothing else available. Edpuzzle came out around 3 years ago now maybe, and it's fantastic. It's free, and you can make classes. It connects with Google Classroom, which I'll talk about in a few more weeks, and you can have all your classes there and have all your students there and grade how they are watching the video. So watch this. It's a nice overview of it. I think you're really going to like that. All right, awesome. And there's our week 5 deliverable, and I'll get back to that. So there's the action sheet. That's what I'm looking for. Here's the prompt. It's a little similar. We're continuing our investigation of screencasting, all right? But this week we're going to focus on the flipped classroom. Watch all the things I asked you for. I'm going to ask you to, give me your feedback on these strategies. What's your reaction to the flip model? If you have ever used it, or would you envision using it as well? I know some of you haven't really had a lot of teaching experience yet. Do you have any criticisms against it? And how would you use it in your own instruction? So that's our prompt for the week. And we're posting to the week 5 discussion. And here are our deliverables, okay? So I'm asking you this week to create your own screencast. I'm going to ask you to go back to your Google Slides that you made in module or in week 3. And now go back, and if you want to add to the slides or do anything you want to them, maybe break them down a little bit or add some more visuals if you didn't do that the first time, and create a screencast for your Google Slides. It does not have to be the entire slide show. Some of your slideshows were long, which might easily be a 15-20 minute screencast. We're looking for around 5 minutes maybe, where you get a sense of how you might use this technology screencasting a Google Slide presentation, right? So you can go through it, set it up, make your screencast, which would be awesome. Now you can upload your screencast to YouTube from any of the sites I showed you. If you use YouTube, if you use Screencastify, which is free, or if you use Screencast-O-Matic, both give you the option to upload to YouTube. Another way is you can actually save it right to your Google Drive, and then you can just share a link from your Google Drive. Make sure everybody with the link can view it, all right, so we can all access it. Either way, I'm going to ask you to post the link and a rationale. I really want to know what's your thought process. How would you use this with your students? To the week 5 discussion, so just post it again so everybody else can kind of look at it. And then also I'm going to ask you to do the same step above, but also post it to the drop in the folder. Okay, so again, like we did this last time with our podcasts, you're going to post again to the actual discussion, all right, for week 5. And then you're going to also drop that same material in the week 5 deliverable assignment drop. So I can look at it, and give you feedback with a rubric and so forth. All right, so that's our week together. This should be fun. Hope you have a really good time. Obviously, reply to other students' posts. Hope you have fun doing this, making some great screencasts, and hope you find this really useful. All right, have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.